skin like Brook. Everything get took when I step in the room. Everything shambles, I'm a crook. The government want me booked, but I love this pirate life. I'm crocodile hook.
The government put berries on my head, tried to touch one strand on my straw hat. Gomino, gomino. CPO's gonna drop like dominoes. How many ships got sunk like merry-go? You ain't never navigate the Grand Line to find the One Piece and become Yonko. They know I'm affiliated with Shanks. Guard a man's chest like Zoro, Juro. The government put berries on my head, tried to touch one strand on my straw hat. Gomino, gomino. CPO's gonna drop like dominoes. How many ships got sunk like merry-go? You ain't never navigate the Grand Line to find the One Piece and become Yonko. They know I'm affiliated with Shanks. Guard a man's chest like Zoro, Juro.
Mask on to the Jakes, can't see my face. I'm king, I'm fucking Kaizoku. He got slashed, splashed, drowned. He shouldn't have ate that devil fruit. This chopper's loaded, ready to shoot. Might burn a you like a kainu. Smoke that pagan crew, then smoke my zoo. I'm on cloud nine like Zoo.
Moku moku no mi, logi atai. I want all the smoke, Navy Sumoka. Step with a pole like I'm Sabo. Target on me, call me Kuma. Took my gloves off, then use my bare hand. Ursa shock top. My cannons busting, this beef cannot stop. I burnt the white flag, so gay can goose up.
One look and they feel my hockey. They ain't tryna get cooked like Sanji. They're shook. Look, you don't wanna hold one from this elephant gun. Might tear off your skin like Brook. Everything get took when I step in the room. Everything shambles, I'm a crook. The government want me booked, but I love this pirate life. I'm crocodile hook.
The government put berries on my head, tried to touch one strand on my straw hat. Gomino, gomino. CPO's gonna drop like dominoes. How many ships got sunk like merry-go? You ain't never navigate the Grand Line to find the One Piece and become Yonko. They know I'm affiliated with Shanks. Guard a man's chest like Zoro, Juro.
If I ring that bell and now you better go low and touch your toes.
Yo, who's that? What's that? Nandato. Like Kusan, he froze.
If I get that drop, I'm there with a mop. Don't need no map or log pose.
I'm Cavendish, I'll take your bitch. Got a hand on my cock like Bo.
You can never be king, you clown, your joker. Do flamingo, mingo.
Better play your cards right like Hawkins, or you might go missing like Vince Smoke.
Put a hole in his chest like Ace. I twin my blaze like Rorono, Rorono.
Or I might just knock that prick out, rock my fist like Gomino, Gomino. The government put berries on my head, tried to touch one strand on my straw hat. Gomino, Gomino. CPO's gonna drop like dominoes. How many ships got sunk like merry-go? You ain't never navigate the Grand Line to find the One Piece and become Yonko. They know I'm affiliated with Shanks. Guard a man's chest like Zoro, Juro. The government put berries on my head, tried to touch one strand on my straw hat. Gomino, Gomino. CPO's gonna drop like dominoes. How many ships got sunk like merry-go? You ain't never navigate the Grand Line to find the One Piece and become Yonko. They know I'm affiliated with Shanks. Guard a man's chest like Zoro, Juro.
One look and they feel my hockey. They ain't tryna get cooked like Sanji. They're shook. Look, you don't wanna hold one from this elephant gun. Might tear off your skin like Brook. Everything get took when I step in the room. Everything shambles, I'm a crook. The government want me booked, but I love this pirate life. I'm crocodile hook.
The government put berries on my head, tried to touch one strand on my straw hat. Gomino, gomino. CPO's gonna drop like dominoes. How many ships got sunk like merry-go? You ain't never navigate the Grand Line to find the One Piece and become Yonko. They know I'm affiliated with Shanks. Guard a man's chest like Zoro, Juro. The government put berries on my head, tried to touch one strand on my straw hat. Gomino, gomino. CPO's gonna drop like dominoes. How many ships got sunk like merry-go? You ain't never navigate the Grand Line to find the One Piece and become Yonko. They know I'm affiliated with Shanks. Guard a man's chest like Zoro, Juro.
Mask on to the Jakes, can't see my face. I'm king, I'm fucking Kaizoku. He got slashed, splashed, drowned. He shouldn't have ate that devil fruit. This chopper's loaded, ready to shoot. Might burn a you like a kainu. Smoke that pagan crew, then smoke my zoo. I'm on cloud nine like Zoo.
Moku moku no mi, logi atai. I want all the smoke, Navy Sumoka. Step with a pole like I'm Sabo. Target on me, call me Kuma. Took my gloves off, then use my bare hand. Ursa shock top. My cannons busting, this beef cannot stop. I burnt the white flag, so gay can goose up.
One look and they feel my hockey. They ain't tryna get cooked like Sanji. They're shook. Look, you don't wanna hold one from this elephant gun. Might tear off your skin like Brook. Everything get took when I step in the room. Everything shambles, I'm a crook. The government want me booked, but I love this pirate.
Hey yo, what's good, gang? It's your boy Illuminati 15. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Right now is a moment I've been waiting for. I've been putting this together for about 3 to 4 weeks now. I want to say thank you to everybody that supported me. Thank you to everybody that helped me get these components together. Big shout out to Mel's hobby shop. Shout out to Fordham Comics as well for helping me get one of the OP1 starter decks. And a big shout out to a high school friend of mine by the name of Shatay. She helped me bring something special to you guys today. is a special component that we will be unboxing today directly from Japan. The English version of this deck is not coming out in America till March of 2024. So I thought it would be a great treat and a great piece of content to share with you guys here at Twitch, later on YouTube and the other platforms. Like always, Twitch sees it first. So let's switch over to my table so I can show you guys the components that we will be unboxing today. Once again, thank you for everyone that tunes in, gives me the time of day, tunes into my streams, and also supports me. I am collecting these cards, trying to possibly play the game competitively, possibly on a pro level, but only time can tell. This is a very expensive card game at the moment due to One Piece's popularity. I'm not trying to break my pockets, but enough of that. Let's switch over to the next camera and start this unboxing. You guys can see here, right? We have 4 decks. Unfortunately, I got super stingy and super really excited, so I didn't hold back on the Luffy deck. I did take some components from this deck and add it to a Zoro deck that I was putting together at Mel's Hobby Shop my first time. But as you guys can see, OP1 Luffy. Shout out to Fordham Comics for supplying this to me. The Yamato deck. Big shout out to my right hand man George. He actually no, this is from Mel's Comics. Mel's Hobby Shop over on Fordham Urban LLC. And then the black OP8 Luffy deck. This was imported from upstate New York, brought directly to me by my right hand man George. Shout out to him, and thank you for holding it down for the team. So we're going to start with the Yamato deck. I'm going to leave the Luffy deck for last because I do have some components here within my Zoro deck. So I'll leave that for last. And then our last piece of content will be the Zoro and Sanji deck that I'm super hype about. I've been training with this deck in the One Piece simulator, getting to know the cards and its effects. So let's start off with Yamato, move everything else to the side. One moment. We're going to start with the Yamato deck first. Lift. Pull out. Box to the side. Still in the plastic. I've been holding back from literally opening this for you guys for a good minute now. As you guys can see, very tempting. Gonna start off from the bottom down. Actually, we're just gonna start from the top up. Wait a little bit. Okay, you guys can see. Leader card, hollow, Yamato. Now Yamato, her special ability is if you add 1 Don to her on your turn, if you have 2 or less life cards, this leader gains 1,000 power. So that's our leader. Next up, the first super rare, Kazuki Odin. Boom. I do believe we got doubles of this card. Let's check. Yes, we got doubles of Kazuki Odin. Odin's effect is this character gains double attack when you add 1 Don to him. On KO, you may trash 2 cards from your hand and add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life card. So Odin automatically, when he gets knocked out, he helps you with life manipulation and adding more life cards to your field. Next up, we have Yellow Ace with 6 cores, 7,000 power. We also get doubles of this. Ace's special effect is if the character would be KO'd, you may trash 1 card from the top or the bottom of your life cards instead. So if Ace is to be KO'd, you can keep him on the field by sacrificing 1 of your life cards and keeping him up, or at the bottom or the top of your life deck. So we got the doubles of Ace right here. Next up, we have Ozuki Tempura, another member of the of Wano. Four calls, 5,000 power. I do believe we got 3 or 4 copies of this card. He has 1,000 cost counter. He does have a trigger effect which says rest up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 2 or less, and add this card to your hand. We have 4 copies of that card right there. Next is Ulti from the Beast Animal Kingdom Pirates. Right? 4 cost, 6,000 power, 1,000 counter, no special effect. 4 copies, a full playset. Next up, we have Dragon Mode Kaido. 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter. This is if you have 1 Don, if you have 2 or less cards, this character cannot be KO'd in battle. 4 copies of Kaido in. Next up, we have Kazuki Momonosuke. 2 cost, 4,000 power. No effect, 1,000 counter. 4 copies of Momo. Up to the I'm running space. Next up, we have Shinobu from the Scabbers. You guys can see right here. 3 cost, 2,000 power. She's a blocker, and it says on block you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand, and then this character gains 4,000 points during the battle if you select her to be the target for the block. Next up, Shimotsuki Hashimura, which I do believe he's a samurai from the land of Wano. 5 cost, 6,000 attack. He's a slasher type. Has a special effect. With 1 Don when attacking, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. Play up to 1 yellow land of Wano type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. No counter. Next up is Fugetsu Amusubi, another samurai from the land of Wano. You guys can see right here. 1,000 counter, 3 cost, 4,000 power. He does have a trigger. KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less, and add this card to your hand. 4 copies of that, a full playset. Next up, the one and only Monkey D. Luffy yellow. Right here. 3 cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter, no special ability. 4 copies of him. I like the art. It seems like it's Luffy using elephant gun with armament hockey. Next up, 3 cost Yamato. You guys can see right here. 2,000 counter, 3 cost, 3,000 power. When attacking, you may add 1 card from the top of your from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. This character gains 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. So literally, you bring her out to the field. You take one of your life cards when you attack with her. She gains 2,000, bringing her up to 5K. And then after that, she stays 5K till the next turn, which makes it harder for your opponent to knock her out while she's rested. 4 copies of that. We have Yamato in her mythical Zoan form. 5 cost, 7,000 power, 1K counter, and literally no effect. Up here. Now we have the events. We have the Narikibura arrow, which I do believe is one of Yamato's attacks. 1 cost, it's a counter. It states if you have 2 or less life cards, give up to 1 of your opponent's leaders character cards negative 3,000 power during this turn. It has a trigger. You may trash 2 cards from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. You have 2 copies of that. Thunder Bagua, which is another attack of Yamato's. 2 cost. It's a counter. It has a trigger. The trigger, if you get it from your life, from your life cards, you draw 1 card. Up to one of your leader's characters gains 4,000 power during this battle. Then, if you have 2 or less life cards, add one of your opponent's characters. Add up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 3 or less to the bottom of the owner's life cards face up. 3 copies, 4 copies of that, a whole playset. And then your typical 10 Don card prints. The basic ones that we got. But that's Yamato's deck. I'm really intrigued by the whole life manipulation aspect of this deck. I might try to build something around this. Once I do get comfortable playing manipulation decks, I do feel like I might be able to boost it a bit more if I can get my hands on the how I might say, if I can get my hands on the Big Mom starter deck. That might help make this deck a bit stronger, and possibly buying another copy to have a full playset of Kazuki, Odin, and Ace. Some of these cards are cool. I just don't like that they have like no special effects or triggers. So those might be some of the cards I might be taking out and putting in duplicates of possibly Kazuki, Odin, and stuff like that. But only the future can tell. So let's pack up this deck and go to opening Luffy's OP08 deck, which is up next. Clearly, yellow is life manipulation. This is something that's actually being meta right now within the game. There was recently just an update on the ban cards that have been updated. I'm really not too in tuned with those updates, but I do have to kind of like start keeping up, especially now that I want to play competitively. Back in the packaging. Close. Next deck, Monkey Luffy's deck. You guys see it right here. This was new to me because normally when you see a Luffy deck, it's mostly red. Red is meta right now within the game. And red is literally rush. Aggressive rush, power stacking. And that's what's running meta right now. The new update did supposedly nerf the meta right now, which is the Zoro leader. But, you know, people are finding ways around it from what I'm hearing, using Whitebeard instead of Zoro as their red deck leaders. So that's pretty interesting. Let's start unboxing. Pop open. Slide out. Box to the side. You guys can see. Monkey D leader card, hollow. Let's take it out of the plastic so you got a clearer look. So, Luffy as a leader, it says on your turn, when a character is KO'd, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to this leader. Boom. Next up, we have 2 copies of the one, the only Shanks. So Shanks' ability, it says on play, 9 cost, 10,000 attack. You may trash one card from your hand and KO all characters with a cost of 1 or less. That's a bit reachy for 9 power, bro. Unless somebody's really using like level 0 and level 1 cards to kind of like just do damage or use special effects. I really wouldn't see like a use for Shanks in my deck, to be honest, because his effect is a little too weak for it to cost that much. I'm not gonna hold you. So we got Luffy, Shanks. Next up, the second super rare of the deck, the one and only Uta, Shanks' daughter as a child. So Uta is a 2-cost, 3,000 power, no counter, just like Shanks. This character cannot be KO'd in battle by leaders. You may rest this character, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. Next up, a playset of Gaimon. You guys can see right here. 2 cost, 4,000 power, 1,000 counter, no special effect. Next up, another playset of 4. The one and only, the OG. The Kind-Hearted Marine, Kobe, with a K. 4 cost, 1,000 power, 1,000 counter. Special effect, you may rest this card. You may rest this character, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with cost 2 or less. That's a little steep for a 4-cost Don. Next up, another playset of the one and only, the Poseidon weapon herself, Shirahoshi, Crybaby Mermaid, as Luffy calls her. 4 calls, 0 power, 1,000 counter. She's a blocker. And it says on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 calls during this turn. Next up, an honorary Straw Hat since the Alabasta arc, the one and only Vivi. 3 cost, 1,000 power, 1,000 counter. She is also a blocker, but has a trigger. If she's in your life cards and you happen to draw her, play this card directly to the field. Next, another 4 playset of Ugama, the mountain pirate. A lot of you guys remember this is the dude that is responsible for kidnapping Luffy and then ending up dropping Luffy into the water, which leads to Shanks losing his arm in the East Blue. 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter. He has a special effect on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost. Another 4-card playset. Got another playset coming up. We got Makino from the Windmill Village. She's 2 cores, 0 attack power, but she is a 2k counter. On play, if there's a character with a cost of 0, draw 1 card. Next up, the one and only hero of the Marines, Luffy's grandfather, Monkey D. Garp. 1,000 counter, 5 cores, 7,000 attack. No special effect, no trigger. That's a lot of power for a 5. Not gonna hold you. Next up, another playset of My Captain. 3 cost, Monkey D. Luffy. 5,000 attack power, 1K counter, no special effect, no trigger. Another playset coming up, which is the OG himself, Laboon, aka Brooks Homie. 4 cost, 6,000 attack, 1K counter, no special effect, no trigger. And then the last character for this deck, the one and only Mr. 2, Mr. Bon Clay himself. You know, Luffy's homie sacrificed himself for Luffy. And impel down. Make sure Luffy made it out safe with Buggy. 5 cost, 6,000 power, no counter. But does have a special effect that states with 1 Dawn at the end of battle, which with this at the end of a battle in which this character battles your opponent's character, you may KO the opponent's character you battled. If you do, KO this character. So technically it's like a one-off. You get him on the field, put 1 Dawn. If he attacks, no matter the cost, if he's higher or lower, double KO. You get a character off the field, and you sacrifice Bon Clay to make that happen. So now to the events. We have a playset of Gum Gum Bell. Right? 2 cost. It can be set as main, as not a counter. And it states, you may add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -7 cost during this turn. It also has a trigger, add up to 1 black character with a cost of 2 or less from your trash to your hand. Little recycle effect with the trigger. And the other event, a 2-card copy of Gum Gum Pistol. Guys, here right here, 3 cost. It can be used in the main. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. And the trigger is draw 2 cards. Everything else, 10 Dons, as you guys can see right here. I'm pretty impressed with the power of this deck. It doesn't really have too much versatility besides literally KOing low cost cards with effects. On top of that, kind of very basic when it comes to like attack. The attack power itself is raw. You don't have too much like boosting of attacks like other decks like the red ones do or the blue ones. But you know, if you're a black player and you know how to manipulate cost and Dawn, this would be a good fit for you. So I don't really think black is my playstyle. I don't think I would be using this. I got this more to like collect. But I do right now, the way that I've been playing on the simulator, I do like blue decks, red decks, and I might be thinking about starting a yellow deck pretty soon because I like the way yellow decks let you manipulate life cards, and it also allows you to recycle your hand and kind of manipulate that. So I'm really into that. Right back into packaging. This is packaged up. Damn it. Bro, this playmat is annoying when it gets stuck in a box. Next deck. Monkey D. Luffy. Now give me 1 second, guys, while I find some of these cards that I put into my red deck. I did get a bit too fidgety. Didn't hold myself back, so I did take a couple cards from in here. See why they changed the packaging to the starter decks to plastic, because this can be highly annoying. Alright, so we are going to start off with the one and only Monkey D. Luffy leader card. Boom. Take it out the sleeve. Leader, 5,000 power, 5 lives. Special effect, activate on main. Once per turn, give your leader one of your character. Give your leader or one of your characters up to 1 rested Dawn card. Okay, so that's the leader. Next up, the 2 super rares for the deck. Monkey D. Luffy. You guys can see right here. Super rare. Hollow. 5 cores, 6,000 power. He has rush. And he has a special effect. Put 2 Dawn cards. And your opponent cannot activate blockers during this battle. So technically, you got Luffy out on the field. Automatically, you can give him 1 Dawn. Then use your Luffy leader to put one of the rested Dawns that you wasted for him to come onto the field on him. Then after that, add an extra Dawn. That already brings Luffy up to 8,000 points. He gets rush automatically after that. And literally, if you attack with the 8K, your opponent can't use blockers. The only thing they can use is counters from their hand or event cards to stop the attack. Boom. Next up, the other super rare. The one and only Zoro, Hollow. Cost 3, 5,000 power. With 1 Dawn. Literally, add 1 Dawn to this character. He's already got 5,000. With 1 Dawn, he gains 1,000 power plus the 1,000 from the Dawn, which brings him up to 7,000. Soon after that, we have a 4-card playset of Frankie. 1,000 counter, 4,000 call, 6,000 attack. I do believe we have a full playset of Jinbei. I think I took 2 cards from my rush deck as well. They're right here. Boom. So 4-card playset of Jinbei. Boom. 3 cost, 5,000 power. Jinbei has no counter, no trigger, but he has a special effect. Add 1 Don when attacking up to one of your leaders, or when attacking up to one of your leaders or characters other than this card, Jinbei, gains 1,000 power during this turn. Up next, playset of Nico Robin. 4 copies, Nico Robin. 3 cost, 5,000 power, no special effect, 1,000 counter, no trigger. Four playset of the one and only Usopp. You guys can see right here, Usopp 2 cost, 2,000 attack, 1,000 counter. He has a trigger. If he comes off of your life cards into your hand, you automatically play him to the field. His special effect is when he has 2 Dons on him, your opponent cannot activate a blocker character that has 5,000 or more power in the battle. So if you have him out on the field, including with Luffy attacks, they can't activate Don. But then so if you have Usopp on the field and he attacks, your opponent cannot activate any blockers that they have in their field that cost more or has more than 5,000 attack power. Boom. Next up, we have a playset of my favorite card, my favorite One Piece character, one and only Sanji. You guys can see right here, Sanji, 2 cores, 4,000 power, no counter, no trigger. When Sanji is played on the field, he has 2 Dons on him. He automatically gains rush. That means you don't have to wait for him to attack. Just add 2 Dons and he's ready to attack. You add 2 Dons to him. That's plus 2,000 attack. He automatically gets to attack the turn he hits the field, which is very much a red style thing to do. Rush at this point is still very pretty much meta in the game. We up next have a, I don't think it's a play set, but I think it came with 3 copies of Brook. No, 2 copies of Brook. You guys can see right here. Brook, 2,000, 2 cores, 3,000 attack, 2K counter, right? And he has a special effect on play. Give up to 2 rested Don cards to your leader or one of your characters. So you can refresh your Dons while they're in play. Let's say, for example, take out Sanji. We rested 2 Dons. Boom. We could play Brook or another 2. Recycle 2. Put those 2 on to Sanji. Now Sanji gets rush. He goes up to 6K. Right? And then at that point, if we even wanted to too, get Luffy to put another rush on Sanji, make him 7K. And that's a whole move to attack right there. Up next, we have Vivi. 2 cores, 4,000 attack. No special effect. 1K counter. I did get a whole playset of this card right here, and I added it to my red deck. 4 copies of Tony Chopper. You guys can see right here. One cost, 1K attack, no counter. He's a blocker. It's always good to have him on the field, especially because I've noticed a lot of the decks now, their blockers run for 2 cost. Next up, a full playset, 4 cards of the one and only Nami. Nami, as you can see, 1 cost, 1,000 power, 1,000 counter. But once she hits the stage, you don't need any Dawn. Her effect activates right when you put her on the field. Give up to 1 rested Dawn card to one of your leaders or one of your characters, and this happens once per turn. As long as she's on the field, that's what makes her so powerful. After that, we get a little playset of Kato, VV's Duck, 1,000 call. 1 cost, 3,000 attack power, and 1K counter. And then the event that we have here, we literally got hit with 2 copies of Gum Gum Pistol, 4 cost. You can activate this on your main. It has a trigger. Activate this card's main effect if it comes off of your life cards. And the effect is KO up to 1 opponent character with 6,000 power or less. And then finally, the last event is Diablo Jambe, 1 cost. It has a trigger, KO up to one of your opponent's blocker characters with a cost of 3 less. And its main effect is select up to 1 Straw Hat type leader or character card. Your opponent cannot activate blockers if the leader or character card is attacking this turn. And then the final card of this deck would be the stage card, which is the Going Merry. I'm surprised it's not in here. There's supposed to be 2 copies of it, but I don't know if I added it to my deck or not. So you guys can see right here, this closes out the whole deck. 2 cost Going Merry. Right? Merry is a stage. You may rest this stage up to 1. You may rest this stage once per turn. Up to 1 Straw Hat crew member or type leader card on your field gains 1,000 power whenever you rest this card and you have it on the field. So that's the Straw Hats deck. I've incorporated some of these cards into my red deck that I've been building with Zoro as its leader. I'm very attracted to this playstyle of deck. I like it. The simple fact that you can recycle Dons and half of the deck is already like low cost but very decent to high attack power. For example, Sanji comes off 2 cost 4K. You give him the 2 Don, he goes up to 6K and he gains rush. So it's very effective if played correctly. This deck really piques and intrigues my my attention. So this is why I'm mostly going with red at the moment, red and blue. So you guys stay tuned. I will be streaming myself playing the simulator starting next week. Packaging. Once again, big shout out to Fordham Comics, supplying me with this deck. And now, for the bread and butter of this video, I was so excited for it. This is why I pushed back the video almost 2 weeks. I was super excited when I got word that I will be receiving this. Before I put this deck out and open it, I want to give a really big thanks and a really big shout out to my high school classmate and friend, Shatay. class of 2011 in Validus Prep here in the Bronx. I saw that she was out in Japan a couple days ago last week. I asked her for the favor. She did me a solid. Sent her about $10. The decks literally run for about $9 US over there. But the downside is that they will only sell one deck or one copy of a deck to a person per day to keep kind of like people from bulking the decks and then exporting them out here to the city, which I respect. Unbox. Boom. Right? And just to show you guys that, you know, this isn't a story I'm making up. I didn't order this from like a third-party website and they shipped it to me. You guys can see. From what my friend Shate told me, she went to a store called Namco Tokyo Tower. Here's the bagging right here. Bandai. Right? Here we go with the 2 receipts directly from the Namco Tower in Japan. 1,320 yen, which is equivalent to $9 US. Hopefully, Shate did speak to me. She said next time that she steps out to Asia, that she's gonna be letting me know and informing us in the team so we can get the bread together, and she can go out of her way and get us multiple copies. And if that day does come and present itself, I will be getting double copies of one deck, so I can literally give it out to you guys, the followers here on Twitter and YouTube. So if you guys give me one moment, these cards are in Japanese, but I have been training with this deck in the One Piece Simulator. So I'm going to open my One Piece Simulator right now so I can go into my deck and get you guys the proper card descriptions and translations. There's certain cards here that I moved around, so I won't have to look for the cards again. Just give me one moment. All right. I'm gonna just open it on my computer. Easier that way. The text is bolder. All right. Editor. All right, so on the leader card, you guys can see here, this is the Sanji Zoro Duo Leader, blue and green, right? 5,000 attack, and it has a 2-way effect. I'm going to be reading that for you guys right now. It says, with 1 Dawn, when you're attacking once per turn, you may return one of your cost 2 or higher characters so it's to its owner's hand, set up to one of your power 7,000 or less characters is active. So technically, with this card, let's say I have a blue or green character on the field that's 2 power, and I have something kind of like a Zoro level 3 or Zoro level 4 cost on the field. I can attack first with my Zoro, right? After that attack is over, rest Zoro, attack with my leader, right? As long as it has a Dawn on it, attack. But before that attack goes through, I can literally bounce my cost 2 card from the field, reactivate my Zoro on the field so he can attack a second time after I'm done attacking with my leader. So this is why I'm so intrigued by this deck, because this deck has so much capability and possibility due to this leader's literally refreshing attacks. So it's very versatile. It does take about between 2 to 3 turns to set up if your deck is built correctly. So next up we have the first super rare, which is Dracula Mihawk. 3 cost, 4,000 attack, 2k counter, right? Put him down. And I'm going to read his effect to you guys right now. So Mihawk's special effect is, if you have 2 or less characters, play up to 1 4 cost or lower Shigeru Kingdom type card or a slash trade character card other than Dracula Mihawk from your hand to the field rested. Now, once again, that can be very productive with this deck. So I throw down Mihawk for 3. Let's say I have a cost 4 Zoro in my hand, right? Once I summon him, bring Zoro onto the field. Boom. But Zoro's rested. I give my leader card 1 Dawn. Give Zoro 2 Dawns. Right? Attack with my leader. Pop Mihawk back to my hand. Activate Zoro. And now I just got Zoro to the field for free. No Dawn rested. Just added 2 Dawns to him at 8k. He gets to attack right after my leader's done. This is why I believe this deck is so freaking versatile. It's so refreshing. Like, it has its potential. So up next, we have 3 cost, right? 4,000 attack power, 1k counter, super rare Ivankov. Set him down, and I'll read his effect for you guys right now. So with Ivankov, once he hits the field on play, reveal the top card of your deck. Play up to 1 cost 2 character card when so you draw a card. If that card is a cost 2 character card, return. Hold on. Reveal the top card of your deck. Play up to 1 cost 2 character card, then return the remaining card to the top or the bottom of your deck. So you draw 2 cards. If one of those 2 cards is literally a cost 2 card, you get to summon it to the field. Well, I think it's to your hand. Yeah, you get to play it to the field, and then the other card, you can either choose to put it to the bottom or the top of your deck. So up next, 2 copies of level 4 Zoro, 6,000 attack, no counter, no special effects, no triggers. And I'll read you his effect right now. With 1 Dawn, when attacking, rest up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters on the field. So if Zoro comes onto the field, He's ready to attack. You give him 1 Don. If he's when he's attacking, if your character has anybody like or 6 or lower on the field, Zoro automatically rests that card and allows you to destroy that card right then and there, or keep them from attacking on the next turn, I believe. So up next, we have a playset of green Peruna. Peruna has no special effect, 4 cost, 6,000 attack, and 1k counter. But she also falls in very well with Mihawk's effect, because since she's part of the Shikeru Kingdom, correct? If you have her in your hand, once you summon Mihawk, you get to play her for free, and she gets to attack that turn. Next up, 4 playset of the one and only Zoro's childhood friend, Kuina. 3 cost, 2,000 attack. She's a slash type. 1k counter. Trigger, if she comes off of your life cards into your hand, you automatically get to summon her to the field. And she has an active main effect. You may rest this character. Rest up to 1 character your opponent has on the field with the cost of 4 less. So back to how Mihawk can be so influential in the deck. If you have her in your hand, boom. You pop her, since she's a slash type. Once she comes onto the field, you rest the card, allowing Mihawk with a few dons to either knock out that card or attack directly leader. Which, while playing the sim, I have kind of figured out that there's other ways to get her onto the field without having to pay the 3 Don. In my simulator, I've actually added 2 cost Law from the film set from OPO2. Law comes onto the field for 2 Don. You automatically get to switch out Law for a level 3 card in your hand. You pull out Kuina, place her, rest the card, and then attack. After that, we have a 4 playset of the human drill. These are the monkeys that emulate and simulate humans fighting in Mihawk's country. These are the apes that helped Zoro train with Mihawk those 2 years of the time skip. 3 cost, 5,000 attack, 1,000 counter, no special effect, no triggers. And they also fit into Mihawk's special effect. Summon Mihawk for 3. If this character's in your hand, you summon him for free directly. Give me one moment, guys. All right, so up next, we have another playset of Yosaku and Johnny. These were the dudes that followed Zoro around in the East Blue. They are also bounty hunters. We haven't seen them in the anime since then. 2 cost, 3,000 cost. Slash types. Counter of 1,000. And their special effect with 1 Don. While you're attacking, choose one of the following effects. They have 2 effects. Rest up to one of your opponent's cost 2 or lower characters, or you can KO one of your opponent's 2 or lower rested characters. So if there's rested characters on the floor that's 2 costs or less, you could just pop them and get them off the field. Or if they're not rested, you can literally pop them and rest them. And if you have doubles of these cards, you can literally pop, rest, and then pop off the field. Another playset. And that is Rika, the little girl that offered Zoro the onigiri rice balls in the East Blue when he got captured by the Marines. Her effect is 2 cost, 0 attack, wisdom type, 2k counter. She has an on play effect. If your opponent has 3 or more lives, set up to one of your slash trait characters with the cost of 4 or less is active. So let's say it's early in the game. We pop her. Let's say using somebody like Law that I'm gonna be using. If your opponent has 3 or more life, if you attack with Ivankov and Ivankov's already rested, you can literally bring her onto the field for 2 Dawn, re-rest back up Ivankov so he can attack again. Or the same thing with the blue cards with like Sanji. So it's pretty useful. So now we're gonna go into the blue cards because we have a lot of cards in this deck. Let's start moving everything over. Up here. This deck has more characters than it does events in it. So that's why I need to like literally make space for it. So next up, Bluefin Tuna. If you guys are OGs from One Piece, you know this is the fish that Sanji wins in the East Blue cooking competition, and he does later on cook this fish for Luffy and the Straw Hats in the East Blue. One cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter, no effects, no triggers. Next up, we have Sanji. 2 cost. I'll make this. Oh, Sanji's right there. 2 cost, 3,000 attack, no trigger, but he does have a special effect. When you put 1 Don card on this Sanji, when attacking, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, this card gains 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. So you bring Sanji onto the field, right? On the next turn, you add a Don to him. You have 2 or less cards in your hand. He automatically gains 2,000 attack, boosting him up to 5k for a 2 cost. Plus the 1,000 from the Don brings him up to 6k. You can also bring Sanji onto the field and let him pop, right? Let's say if you have somebody like Zoro on the field that's going to attack next. Let Zoro attack. Boom. Go back to using your leader. Put 1 Don on your leader. Pop with your Don. Send Sanji back to your hand. And then refresh Zoro to pop again. You know what I'm saying? After that, we got a playset of... Two cost Charlotte Pudding, 2 cost, 2k attack, 2k counter, and her special effect is return this character to the owner's hand. Another playset of the one and only, the OG, Zeph. Boom. I'll read you Zeph's stats right now. So with this Zeph card, technically what we got to do is look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add and place them at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. That's his on play effect. Then he has a when attacking effect. Reveal the top card of your deck. You may play up to 1 cost, 2 character card rested. Then return the remaining cards to the top or the bottom of your deck. After that, the last character, we have 2 characters left. We have a 2 blocker set with Duval. Two cost, 1k attack, a 1k counter. And Duval is a blocker. His on play effect though, look at 3 cards on the top of your deck and place them in any order that you want at the top or the bottom of your deck. And last but not least, we have Patty and Carne. Right? No effect, no trigger. 4K, attack, 2 cost, and 1K counter. Boom. Now we have 2 events that come with this card. They only gave us four cards in events, as you guys can see right here. Let me look those up for you guys. So this is the classic Shishi Song Song, the line song. It is a counter, but it can also be played as a main. Rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters with a cost of 4 or less. And then the trigger is activate this card's main effect. And then after that, we have Sanji's Parade Shot. It is a counter, 1 cost. Give up to one of your leader or character cards 2,000 plus power for this battle. Then reveal the top card of your deck. Play up to 1, cost 2 character. Then place the remaining cards at the top or the bottom of your deck. So those are all the cards for the blue and green Sanji deck. Your typical 10 Don cards, as you guys can see right here. And I'm actually really excited about this deck. This deck really intrigues me. I like the way that you can pop and refresh. You can adapt the deck to a more less cost-effective Don style. Like I said, adding green film law in for characters like Carne, which they cost the same thing, but I would off out Carne from the deck to put 4 copies of law, because law allows me to bring in and pop in cards like Kuina, the Bluefin, or maybe even what do you call it, Puddin, which helps me, or even bring in Sanji from my hand. So you know, it's very versatile, it's very effective. I have been experimenting with this deck for the past week in a simulator. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing English versions of these cards until March of 2024. This is why I was so excited to bring you guys this deck right now. We still have a little bit of wait. I have been doing my research on YouTube, and it is rumored that there is going to be a booster box that comes out alongside this deck. And from what I hear of the descriptions of the cards that are going to come with this deck, boss, the Sanji Secret Rare and the Zoro Secret Rares are going to be some beast in the metagame. It's going to be like a titan, especially with the Zoro Super Rare that's like 9 cost. If you could keep them on the field for 1 turn, you can literally lace Zoro with 7 Don cards and make sure that you just set up the refresh with the leader, which I don't think you can refresh, because for this to refresh, it has to have 7,000 or less. But there's ways around that. I'm gonna be figuring those ways out, and I will be bringing it to you guys directly. You guys stay tuned. I'm going to be experimenting with this deck more in the simulator. I'm just happy to have these cards. I need to get some sleeves for them. This is like my holy grail right here of One Piece cards. I do believe I might be the only person in New York City with this deck right now. So I do feel low-key like I'm stunting. I will be taking this to Mel's Hobby Shop next week, Monday or Tuesday, to kind of test it out myself. I'm very excited about that. I might just go live IRL on Twitch to share that with you guys and see what type of reaction some of the players there have. I am new to playing the card game, so I'm pretty much like not the best at it right now. I'm still trying to figure out my play styles in a way that I would like to be considered a player within the One Piece TCG community. But on that note, I want to thank you guys. One moment. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for everybody that helped this unboxing happen. My right-hand man, George. My homegirl, Shatay. Fordham Comics, Mel's over on 183rd and Grand Concourse. These guys are the epicenter of One Piece right now in the Bronx. They're not abusing prices. The unboxing that you guys saw me do a couple days ago, I got that box directly from Urban LLC Hobby Shop over on Grand Concourse. They're not abusing and taxing prices. You go online and you might find a booster box for $120, even up to $160. This is why I respect these businesses and I choose to only do business with them, because they are trying to nurture the simple fact to make it available to everyone and not just scalpers and people that look at One Piece right now with the cards as a money sign. So much respect to Mel's, much respect to Fordham Comics. Big shout out to my right hand man George for supplying us with the Black Luffy deck, and a big shout out to my friend from high school Shate. That's gonna be our Asian plug from now on. If she does take another trip to either Korea or Tokyo, I will be keeping in contact with her so she can bring me back something that I can give away to you guys, the followers. Once again, it's your boy Illuminati15. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And on that note, if you like my content, I don't ask for much. Just follow. And I don't want you guys paying for subscriptions to my channel. If you happen to have a Amazon Prime account, just use the free sub on my channel. It is gladly appreciated. We are coming up to my 1-year anniversary of being a Twitch affiliate. If you guys want to show me some love for the holidays and just lace the pockets, just so we can get more One Piece content and more One Piece unboxings, I would gladly appreciate it. For the holidays, I don't want money. I don't want donations. Just hit me and bless me with your free Amazon Prime subscription, and that's all it takes to be a loyal follower of me and my Twitch channel. Also, if you guys want to follow us if you guys want to follow the DPG gang on other platforms, you can look us up at DPG TV on Facebook, DPG TV on YouTube. You guys can follow me on TikTok as Illuminati15, where I also, after I'm done editing, I post up over there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Big shout out to the team. Gang, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. Your boy Illuminati15. I'm out.